Frank here. Welcome to my lightly modded Minecraft series. In this episode, I renovate my underground lair, add an elevator to the house, and begin work on sugarcane and bamboo farms. First thing to get out of the way with the undercroft of the house is block up this entrance. I use bars to make it look a little bit like it caved in and a mixture of other blocks. I might open this up again later and make it another entrance, but for now it's staying closed. And now for the main renovations. With the basement complete, tucking the villagers rightfully into little cages for the rest of their measly existences, I can begin work on the elevator. For the elevator, I'll use rope pulleys. For power, I'll draw rotational force from water wheels situated underneath the balcony to the side, using the flowing water from the crops. Routing the power is definitely going to look messy to begin with, but as I clear it all up using andesite casings and coating every single shaft with a casing, it's going to look a lot cleaner. Water in Minecraft can be very finicky, especially when I'm trying to balance aesthetics and actual function with the water wheel. It's very often a hard compromise, considering the limited flow distance and how source blocks are required in some spots of the water wheel for maximum efficiency. After riding the power to the top of the house using gearboxes and implementing a pipeline that comes out from the roof, it's time to start setting up the controls for the elevator. To control the elevator, I'll be using a linked controller, which simply transforms your movement keys into redstone signals that redstone links can pick up from anywhere as long as the chunk is loaded. Since I don't want to turn the elevator to be perpetually moving, I place a clutch as the first block that will be perpetually on with a redstone torch. To turn the clutch off and initiate movement, both the up and the down key will send a pulse that inverts it to an off state, allowing for the transfer of power. The second important piece is the gear shift. When the gear shift has a signal, it will allow power, but reverse it. If it doesn't, it will still allow power, but not reverse it. That's how I will change movement for up and down for the elevator. To increase the speed of the elevator, all that's left now to do is to simply gear up using cogwheels. With the wiring and gearing up complete, it's time to actually take the elevator for a test run. I was pleasantly surprised to see that it works absolutely perfectly. I'm actually very glad how this elevator turned out. Using 2 rope pulleys also was a good idea, as it allows me to have 2 independent platforms with different functions. And finally, I can remove all the ugly staircases around the base. With the elevator complete, it gives me the opportunity to move all my loot quickly from across the base into a storage area in one of the catwalks in the basement. After I finish that, it's time to start on my next big building project. To the east, there lies a towering mountain. I plan to use this mountain for a lot of different tasks as the series goes on, but what I'm aiming for in this episode is to make it a lot more aesthetically pleasing, so that building in it is a lot more pleasant. You might have already noticed, but for the actual mountain itself, I'm going to be terracing layers out from the sides. I plan to use some of the surface area for purely decoration, but I also want to save some terraces for sugarcane and bamboo farms. The overall mountain design is going to feature a large reservoir of water at the top that flows down between the terraces using big waterfalls. So for this first little terrace here, I'm going to be using this one for the bamboo farm. I can put water in the middle of each one, and for this one here, I'm going to leave the water again, except that's not going to be a farm, that's actually going to be something that I reveal in the next episode. And then this is going to be my sugarcane farm. There's a tree stump there that I'd planned to make a big tree come from, but I ended up making a droopy little willow tree as I didn't want to create anything eye-catching just yet on the mountain. With the willow tree out of the way, that's everything I want to get done with this episode. Hey, thanks for watching right to the very end. I really appreciate that. And I also really appreciate all the kind words on the last one. What's playing right now is some extras that I didn't end up using in the actual episode. Sorry this one took so long to get out. I've got a lot of stuff on my plate, and I'm a very slow editor, and I'm still kind of bad at editing. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed all the little extras I put in to break up the monotony, and thank you for the generous contribution of memes.